Hi, I'm Kathy Bornheimer, and we are back with another segment of Street Smart Conversations. Let's talk about the world of work. We are back again with Everet Kamikawa, our Salesforce development expert, and we're going to talk about sales professionals who want to find a better opportunity. You obviously need to be looking for a better employer than you're with right now. What are some things that you have to show or bring to the table to get the attraction of the right organization?
Well, the biggest thing, Kathy, is when you're looking for a new position as a salesperson, when it comes to your resume, don't put anything on it that you cannot actually back up with numbers. So, for example, when you put down that you grew revenue 25% over the last year at your territory, 25%, what does that mean? What were revenues before you got there? What were revenues now that you're leaving? And that 25% better add up to 25%. You'd be surprised how many resumes I see where people can't add numbers and figure out a percentage of growth. If you have and put in metrics. Who were you calling on in your territory? Were you calling on HR managers? Were you calling on presidents and CEOs? What was your average call volume per day? Was it mostly on the phones? Were you mostly on the road doing stop-bys? How many meetings did you have every week? Out of those meetings, how many closes did you have on average? So what were those numbers? What were those metrics that you can actually point to and say, these are the activities I did? Because ultimately, as a salesperson, and I'm applying for a job in a new company, I could be the nicest guy in the world, I can have the best suits and the best sports car or whatever else to wow the client. But ultimately, what the company that I'm interviewing for wants to know is whether or not I can sell. And the biggest thing that they're going to look at are those daily behaviors, those things that I do as a salesperson that differentiate me from the competitors. And by putting that information on my resume, no one cares about what award you won, what club you're with, or what organization you are. Those are all nice, but back it up with some hard numbers. If you grew revenues X percent, put not only the percentage down, but your dollar value. What was your average dollar amount per sale? What were you selling? What was the average sale for the company? Put those numbers in, and if you don't know them, don't just say, well, my sales manager once told me it was this number. No, actually get your documented records, keep your records from your previous job, and put those on your resume so that when you're challenged by the interviewer or the sales manager, whoever you're talking to, you actually have those numbers and you can back up what you say.
Okay, and again, I agree with you again, because you've got to have quantitative information. You've got to be able to back it up, because they are going to ask for that information, so you've got to be prepared. Now, on the flip side, if you were the manager, the sales manager, looking for a good sales professional, what type of questions would you want them to ask you? Then you can judge the caliber of person they are. So what do you want to hear from them?
As a sales manager, it's not necessarily always what specific question, but I want to know, one, are they going to ask me any questions? So as the person interviewing for the job, as the salesperson, as a sales candidate, be sure you ask good follow-up questions. If the interviewer says, this is it, our interview's done, thank you very much for your time, hang in there. Say, do you mind, can I ask you a question or two as clarification? A lot of times people are going to look for, as the sales manager now, doing the interviewing, I'm going to look for their bonding skills. I'm going to look and see, can they hang in there? Because how they're selling and talking to me is more likely how they're going to sell and talk to my customers. So if I know that they're trying to hang in with me and asking me questions, then odds are if they're in front of a customer, they're also going to ask one more question to try and get the sale. So I want them to be able to try and create some sort of rapport. I want to see whether or not they're going to ask me more follow-up questions. I'm going to ask them I'm going to be interested to see what they think I should be spending my time on as well as a manager. How much time do I spend coaching? How much time do I spend motivating the team, recruiting, things like that. So those are the questions also I'm going to look for. It's not so much a specific question, but it's going to be the types of questions that they're asking.
Okay, and again, a lot of times people don't realize that they do need to ask the right questions themselves, because they want to make sure that they can work with this individual, that this is going to be a good match, or it's not going to work out in the long run.
Right.
Okay, all right, well, thanks a lot, Everet.
My pleasure.
Okay, again, this is Kathy Bornheimer, Street Smart Approach to Job Search, finishing up another segment of Street Smart Conversations. Let's talk about the new world of work. If you have any questions or comments on this segment, please contact us at www.streetsmartjobsearch.com. Thank you.